Let's talk D23 2024 predictions. This is my first vlog post ever, and I have those first day of school jitters because it's something I've always wanted to do, and so I'm a little nervous and excited. But welcome to It's Kelly Washington, because it's Kelly Washington. And though I want to talk about all things fun, nerdy, and fandom, it felt wrong to talk about anything besides Disney first. As somebody who loves Disney more than anything, we'll start with Disney World, then Disneyland, and then get into video games, because I have a feeling that we're gonna get some good video game news this weekend. Okay, let's get into it. First, let's get it out of the way. I think we're getting a drone show. Paris's drone show is one of the most incredible nighttime spectaculars I've ever seen. They've already been practicing in Disney Springs. I think we're gonna get an official show. Next is something I am super excited for. So in 2022, it was announced that they're going to have Beyond Big Thunder, an expansion to the Frontier Big Thunder area. But I think we're going to get the deets now. The rumors are we're getting a flying Coco show, which would be the first flying show in the Magic Kingdom, and it would be Coco! Coco's one of the best movies of all time, and you can't argue me. There's also rumors of a villains area, which would be a dream. There's a lot of spooky girls out there like me that I know are ready for a villains era. Another rumor is Encanto. I don't see that one happening as much. It's going to take over one of the best areas in Animal Kingdom. We'll get to that in a minute. And so I don't see it being in both parks, but prove me wrong, Disney does it all the time. But I think the reason I'm so excited for this Beyond Big Thunder is because it gives homage to the OG idea of Big Thunder. So for those who don't know the history of Big Thunder, Magic Kingdom opened in 1971, and they immediately knew they were going to expand because they knew what they had on their hands. It was going to be a big deal. So when thinking of how they were going to expand the areas, Thunder Mesa by Mark Davis was going to be one of the big new areas. Mark Davis had come up with this very large plateau that was going to have a runaway train ride and a river expedition attraction. When they started working on it, though, people on the East Coast were upset that they didn't have a Pirates of the Caribbean. But Disney thought, well, you don't need pirates. You live in Florida. There's pirate things there. Wrong. So they end up bringing Pirates of the Caribbean there, taking away the river attraction that was going to be in Thunder Mesa. But because of the budget, Mark Davis had to put his dreams aside for Pirates of the Caribbean. This, in my opinion, is honoring that initial idea by expanding an area and seeing the potential that it could have. Now, an area that I have to talk about, even though I don't want to talk about it because the reality stinks, is Tropical Americas. Now, while I love Encanto and would be excited to have that area, they were taking away one of the best rides Disney World has. Right now, they're getting ready to destroy all of Dino Land, USA, to make it the Tropical Americas and bring us an Encanto attraction, and probably make Dinosaur into Indiana Jones. But we already have Indiana Jones at Disneyland. It's the original version of that attraction, and I'm not always a fan when they bring rides that we already have on one coast to the other coast. But I know it's gonna happen. And my fear is, with the official announcement and all the details showing up at D23, we will officially lose Dino Land very quickly. I love Dinosaur. I think it is one of the most perfect attractions. It's scary, it's fun, and I might be a little biased because I'm an actor, if you don't know. And when I moved to Los Angeles, I didn't know a soul. So I lived with my dad's best friend's second cousin's family, and the dad of the household was the cinematographer for Dinosaur. So Dinosaur has such a special place in my heart, and I think it's a great ride. I think Animal Kingdom needs dinosaurs. And we all know they're not putting the good dinosaur anywhere. I love Test Track, and I love talking about Test Track with people. So we're about to get 3.0, and I think we're gonna get the details of what this attraction looks like. Now, something that I read online really often is that it's always Disney who is forcing all these new changes and, you know, taking away the original and blah, 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 blah. This is an attraction where that is 100% not true. So Disney has been working with General Motors for a really, really long time. And in 1976, General Motors approached Disney to be the sponsor for a pavilion. They sparked a 10-year deal for the transportation pavilion. And so when the park opened, they had the biggest show building, and they had an attraction that is still, to this day, a lot of people's favorite, the World of Motion. Because they had the 10-year contract, once it was coming up, General Motors was struggling, but Disney was thriving. General Motors did want to continue a deal, though, and so they could only really commit to a one-year contract because they weren't sure what the future of GM was going to be. So they said that they would continue under one condition. They make a new attraction. They wanted an attraction that was going to feature more of General Motors, not just the history of transportation itself. An original idea that Disney had actually pitched to GM was an attraction that would honor the Milford Proving Ground, which was basically their test track. So when they went back and said, hey, how about this idea? GM loved it, and that's how we got Test Track. Then, 10 years later, they said, okay, we want to do it, but we want to update our Test Track, which is how we got this Tron version. Now we're getting Test Track 3.0, and I think it's going to do a little of the combo of honoring the world of motion with Test Track. I'm hoping we lose some of the futuristic aspects, especially now that we do have Tron, and we can keep it in a little more practical effects. I don't know, we'll see. I'm excited. I think it's a necessary change to Test Track. Okay, now let's talk about my home park, Disneyland. The group going to Disney World, I love Disneyland because I love Disney history. I love that you could see all of the pieces that the original Imagineers brought to life and we still have at Disneyland. And speaking of the OG Disneyland, next year is going to be the 70th anniversary of Disneyland. So I think they're going to go big. They went big for the 65th. We went big for the 100th year of just Disney. Now we're ready for the 70th. I think we're going to get the details on what to expect for that celebration at Disneyland. And supposedly we might get Paint the Night back, one of the best parades ever, and the Main Street Electrical Light Parade, which I can see them doing Paint the Night over at DCA and Main Street over at Disneyland. We know we're going to hear more about the Avatar attraction coming to Disneyland. Supposedly, it's going to take over Hollywoodland. My other hope is that maybe we're going to find out more for Avengers Campus. I love the characters walking around Avengers Campus, but I do feel like it's lacking more than that. Yes, we've got the Spider-Man attraction, but we need another one. We have that huge show building, and we already have the exit at the gift shop. So I'm ready for either an announcement of an attraction back there, supposedly it would be a battle with Thanos, or maybe we're going to hear a full cancellation. But I think with the Disney 70th coming up, and the fact that the Disneyland Forward was approved on June 7th, I think there's going to be a lot of news. I don't think we're going to get news on a third gate for Disneyland yet, but I can see it coming. Now let's get into games. First of all, hoping that there's going to be a Lorcana presence there. I have gotten quite addicted. It's like the perfect combo for someone who grew up loving Pokemon at Disney. But I think we're going to see a lot of video game news at this D23. So as everybody saw earlier this year, Epic Games, aka Fortnite, made a deal with Disney for huge collabs. So we have the Fortnite Marvel collaboration already happening. I think we're going to see more of where that is going. I don't think that's it. I think that Fortnite has bigger plans with Disney. But with Epic Games and the world building that they can do, I think that we're going to see bigger things happen. There's definitely going to be more on Star Wars Outlaws that's going to be featured for sure. And maybe some on Indiana Jones. Now, my big hope is that we are getting more Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is one of the best games ever made. And when I was looking up on Reddit what other people's predictions were, when other people were excited about Kingdom Hearts, the answer was, okay, boomer. I'm not a boomer, but that made me feel old. I'm just excited to see what video game stuff is coming. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the Haunted Mansion rumors. I don't think this will be a real D23 thing, but it's definitely a future Disney thing. But I'll save it for another little vlog. I cannot wait. This will be my first time actually attending D23. I'm curious how many of my predictions will be correct, and the projects that we know are coming, how much detail we're going to get. And as they say at the end of these videos, like and subscribe, especially if you want to chat more and get nerdy with me. Thank you all again. I hope you have the most magical week, and sending you all a lot of love.